I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time before the beautiful sedans are coming back. Now we have the Cadillac CT5 continuing with a new generation. I do believe next year. The CT4 unfortunately is dead. Very sad to see these small sedans going away. Specifically, the CT4 is a beautiful sedan. And then you have the Volvo S60. Also gone now. I do believe the S90 is also disappearing. Sedans are slowly going away, but some companies are keeping them alive. And I think if people just keep buying them, it's going to spill over to other manufacturers. And you're going to see like, hey, people still want sedans, so let's keep continue to build them. So good news here. Very, very good news from Cadillac. CT5 continuing on, while the CT4 unfortunately is not. We're going to have a look at this. I'm going to show you. Why do you think I would buy the CT5 over the BMW M5? A lot more power in the M5. Not sure exactly how much the CT5 Blackwing actually has. It might be pretty close in power, and you have the V8 in the Beamer as well. But the thing about these two cars is it's very easy for me to pick the Cadillac. Specifically now, I mean only now with the last generation of the M5, where they completely ruined the styling. Nothing makes sense to me, and it's very easy to show you exactly what I mean. I'm gonna dissect it in detail, specifically in side view, the CT5 and the BMW M5, and you're gonna see exactly why the M5 is such a mess when it comes to the design. But before we jump into that, and have a look at the designs from front, side, and rear, and also the interior. Let's have a look at this article from Car Scoops. I'm going to link it down below as always. So, Cadillac confirms new gas-powered sedan. Great to hear it. The current generation of the CT4 and the CT5 are nearing the end, but one nameplate will live on in Cadillac's range. Cadillac will retire the current CT4 and the CT5 at the end of next year. I mean, it's been around for a while, but I still think these look modern, specifically with the CT5 facelift they unveiled, I do believe, last year. We'll get a new CT5 successor. It will be built in Michigan with a gas engine. Of course, we still want to have the internal combustion engines in these beautiful proportions. The current CT4 will go out of production in June of 2026, while the CT5 will follow later the same year. CT5 will be getting a second generation internal combustion engine. We talked about that already. The model will continue to be built in Lansing Grand River Assembly, which has originally slated to be transformed into an electric vehicle hub thanks to a $500 million infusion from the Department of Energy. The next generation CT5 will be available in the United States and Canada, so great to see that. More information about the CT5 and its feature will be shared at a later date. And look at this handsome beauty right here. So with that said, a very short article. Let's jump in straight into Photoshop here and have a look at what's going on. And let me show you exactly why it's so easy for me to pick the CT5 or the M5. Here we have them both in a front view. We're going to have a look at the front, the side, the rear, and boom, the interior there as well. So starting with the front end design. Now the CT5 has always been one of my favorite designs, honestly, when it comes to design in general. It's such a sharp looking design, and I do like that we have this separation of the I wouldn't call this really a bumper. It's just a piece of bodywork right there, and how it goes down into this framing in the lower section, creating a base for the entire face to sit up upon and build upwards from this base of body color we have in the lower section. Love the headlights, these type of stylings that we have on the sides with these LEDs, typical Cadillac design DRLs. And what this does, having these LEDs at the very far end of the vehicle, it just creates a nice framing and creates a nice width as well, graphically for the front end. Traditional looking grille as well, and very chiseled hood here. Beautiful looking hood. I do love this center line that we have on pretty much every single Cadillac, going down, connecting right to the center point right there of the logo in the grille. And everything, I do believe most of these vents are actually functional. The grille, of course, functional. Lower section as well. These as well. The only thing I'm not sure about is this area, if this is functional or not. I'm pretty sure that this lower section, corner section down there is also 100% functional. So beautiful, beautiful design. by Cadillac, both for the CT5 and also the CT4. Now look at the BMW here. I mean, if you look back at all the generations of the 5 Series, specifically the M5, it's always been it always had this presence to it. The E39, when you walk around it, I mean, come on, it's still a gorgeous looking machine, and it has a nice continuity around the entire vehicle. But this one is the complete opposite of that. It's like they took everything they knew about how designing a 5 Series and just threw it in the trash and started right over. Nothing here has a connection to what's going on with each other. The key graphics, big grills, big kidneys, and then you have the radar positioned right in the middle of the key graphic that's been in BMWs since the beginning when they started making cars, the two kidneys. Why would you slap the radar right in the middle in between them like that? Very lazy position of that. We have some pretty good looking intakes in the lower section right here, but everything is so static. Look at the sharp corners everywhere. And then we have interesting angles for the headlight unit and a chamfer going underneath it, and how these headlights then swoop up on the side like this. It's a very, very strange looking car. Now, BMW is, of course, refreshing this, so we're going to get the Neue Klasse design, meaning that the grille, the kidneys are probably not going to stick out this far. They're going to be in one single line with the headlight unit, and I am thankful to see that. I can't wait to see what the refresh is actually going to look like. One thing is for sure, it is 100% going to look better than this one, because that is not a very hard thing to do. Now, the key thing here, why I would prefer the Cadillac, I mean, in addition, everything around about the design is why I would prefer it. But the main reason is looking at these cars from a side view. I'm going to show you what makes a good design, what makes a bad design. Of course, the Cadillac being the good design up here, BMW at the lower section. Why is this such a good design? Because everything has a connection to what's going on in the lines here. The key graphics are connected to what's going on in the sheet metal. And you also have some line flow in the lower section with some beautiful classic sedan proportions. If we draw this line and see if we can hit it properly like this, going straight into the front axle right there. We have a nice line in the lower section. Does it have any connection to the rear? Yes, it does, because it connects to this line right there. This line, again, connects to the bumper line. And look at the shoulder line. This is what I love about this CT5 specifically. First of all, we have a very upright front end, creating a very stately design. But look at the shoulder line here. One single shoulder line that then goes straight into the corner of the taillights, into the corner of the headlights. And in addition to that, if we look at the front end, this shoulder line now continues into the key graphics and into the DRLs, because it continues with this LED right in the front end. It does the exact same thing. If we draw out this line, shoulder line, it continues into the taillight design graphics. Just a stunning, beautiful design. I also like this little, some finesse in the greenhouse design, where they made this little upswing and little fin right there looking beautiful. Creates some personality to this vehicle. And of course, the wider fenders that we have right here looking absolutely beautiful. But the key thing here I wanted to show you is this line right here. How it goes from the key graphics in the front all the way back, stretching in one single line, dipping down into the key graphics in the rear end. Stunning looking design, in addition to that it is, in fact, a pretty decent 3-box design. If we draw out the boxes like this, this box could have been a little bit more defined in the back, but still not bad at all. Now look at the BMW. What is going on here? We do have some line flow in the lower section, thankfully, with this one single line going into these very static looking graphics in the back. There isn't a shoulder line to talk about here. We do have one that sort of fades underneath the greenhouse and then dips down, doesn't have any sort of connection to anything in the back. I don't know where this line is going. We have an angle here for the taillights that goes a little bit upwards, not sure why. And then we have the headlights sitting very high up. The hood in general just feels like it sits too high up. And this is, of course, because the 5 Series was designed both as an internal combustion engine and as an EV. So the height of this, it looks too bulky. And you also have this massive weight to the new M5, which I have to say, the engineers of BMW has managed to hide the weight of the M5 very, very well. When you're driving it, you don't really feel that it's a heavy beast. And I knew that was going to happen because the engineers of BMW always seem to hide the weight very well. And it's always a great, it's still a great driving machine. I would just not be feeling like I'm doing my environment a service by driving this around because of the way it looks on the exterior. And then of course we have the 19s in the back, in the front, 20s in the back, creating this staggered setup that I don't like to see on a big, beautiful sedan like this. Now coming into the rear view right here, again, the Cadillac is just spot on. You can see how the lines wrap around the entire vehicle like this, exactly like I want to see. We still have the shoulder line going into the key graphics in the taillight unit. You can have this, you have an intersection right here, so you can follow the shoulder line, either connect it to this LED or you can connect it to this LED. You can have it either way. It doesn't matter which direction you choose, it still connects to the key graphics. We have the black wing in the back here in carbon fiber, looking beautiful. A nice little ducktail in the back as well. And the roofline proportions looking gorgeous overall. Love this lower section. Compare this to the staticness that we have in the M5. This becomes even more beautiful when you're looking at it from a rear view. Quad tailpipes, of course, similar to what we have in the styling for the 63s AMGs from Mercedes with these squared off pipes, which I love to see. Reverse light, I do believe, is located right there. Looking at the BMW, look at the difference in diffuser styling. Very simple, elegant, classic integration of the diffuser for the Cadillac right there in the lower section of the bumper. In the BMW, we don't really have a bumper. I feel like the bumper should stop right here and then go into a bumper like this, but it goes all the way to this point before it changes directions in the lower section. And we have this interesting body color piece going down here in between the two diffusers, and the diffusers themselves stick up way too high. I want to see the diffuser stick up to this point before it goes down, and also create some more organic and more radiuses in this design overall. The taillight do not look too bad. They're still pretty good looking, even though I would probably want to have a little bit more dynamic feel in the taillights here as well. In this area, I've never really understood what is going on here. It feels like someone took a knife and just carved out, just cut it and just slowly carved out a portion of the rear end, creating this very interesting design in the rear end with these lines going in and shooting out here. It feels like this should be a sort of an air vent or something like that, but instead it is a reflector light hiding in that position. So very strange design from BMW overall. And again, I can't wait to see what the Neue Klasse is going to look like. Now, last but not least, the interiors. With the update the Cadillac did with the 2025 Cadillac CT5, I 1000% prefer the old generation, the pre-facelift, because it didn't have the dual screens like this. It has separation between the infotainment screen right here, and we had a housing for the gauge cluster. It was just a better design overall. But the good news here is we still have some features in this lower section, some physical buttons, thankfully, for the climate settings, and vents look to be in a pretty standard position, very easy to adjust those as well. Beautiful looking interior, other than the two dual screens that they updated. So for me, I would go with a 2024 model year. The old face also looked very, very beautiful. Not a big deal for me to have the old face. Looking at the BMW here with a classic by now, very static layout in this area. Sharp corners everywhere in the screens. We do have some nice ambient lighting here, some carbon fiber for the M5, of course. Steering wheel looks good. It also looks great in the Cadillac. So those are the reasons why I personally would prefer the CT5. I mean, it's just no question for me. And it's kind of weird for me to think that I would prefer an American sedan over a German performance sedan, but that's the case. And that is only referring to the latest generation of the BMW M5. If we go back to the previous generation, which one of the best looking 5 Series ever made, very classic design for the graphics, and it looked clean. M5 E34 and E39 also had very nice proportions and graphics to it. It just messed it up with the latest generation, in my opinion.